Sometimes some designs might be fragile in nature, so those structure needs additional support. We use generally a rib to support different structures. In the case of sheet metals, they are called sheet metal gussets, which is this one. Okay, so selecting the sheet metal gusset will open up a property manager, which will help you to create those ribs. The first thing you need to do is select the position where you want to add that gusset or rib. So let's say we want to put one in between these two surfaces. So first select the surface and then select the next one. What SolidWorks will do is measure this distance between this point and this point here and create a calculation of how much offset it will need so that it can set it up in the middle portion of the whole structure. You can also change the position by changing this value here. Okay, let's say instead of 5 you might want to give it 10. It will go all the way on the other side, or maybe 2 to one of the sides. So everything will be calculated based on this point onward. Okay, the next thing you want to know is the indent depth or the profile dimension. The indent depth or the profile dimension is basically what will be the size of this. So let's say this indentation depth is 5 millimeter. A question is why it is called indentation depth? Because when you create this, what in manufacturing shop or a workshop, what they will do is create an indentation from this back side that will be used to create this whole supporting structure. Okay, we can also select it using the profile dimension. Let's say in one side you want to have this as 10 millimeters. Let's just make it 7 millimeters, and on the other side you want to have 5 millimeters. So for the D1 you can get it as 7. The D2, let's give it as 5 millimeters. So you're basically changing the parameter or the dimension. You can also change the type of rib or gusset you're using just by selecting this, a rounded shape or a flat shape. Usually flat shapes are more popular in use. Next thing is the indentation width, basically how wide this will be. You can change it to 2 or let's say 3 millimeters. It will change accordingly. Okay, now the next parameter is indented thickness. It will depend on the thickness of the sheet metal itself. 1 millimeter is too much for this material based on what we created. So let's make it as 0.5 millimeters. So the indentation will be as minimum as possible. Okay. We can also add the draft angles, inner corner fillets. For this example, we'll not be using those. Once done, just click OK, and the supporting tool has been used, and you see that indentation that we mentioned is also on the outside of it. Okay, if you flatten it, you will see it is not present there, because that's the process that's used after creating the whole thing. It doesn't have to have on during the cutting process. But here, these are some of the major points that we're going to need. Like here, we had this cut